Hello, 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 hello. I think I gotta turn the music down a little bit. What am I at? 4? I'll go down to like 2. That should be good. Oh God, what a week, what a day, what a life. Basically all of it, right? So how are things going? Things are going well. Working on, the hunt for the house is still going. Oof. CT housing market ain't too pretty. Other than that, getting some more stuff worked on. I got some jokes written, some bad ones. I get a lot of that done. Haven't gotten a huge amount done my music actually recently. I got to focus on that. Hopefully, when my vacation time is coming off next, and went out to see the woods. Went to a nice waterfall. It was nice. Something to do. Get out into nature every now and again. Kind of helps center the soul. Oh boy. What else? Oh, the Go Woke Go Broke video. I was finally able to put that out. That's good. I'm happy about that. That was like, oh my God, how long is that video? Like an hour and a half, 2 hours? Oof. I don't think anyone's got the patience to sit through all that, but good archival footage, right? Good archival documentation for history. There you go. That no one will ever look at, which makes it even better. But it was good to do something with my brother. I keep getting in like an hour here and there working on the Skeleton Man review, and that, oh, it's going to be so good when I finally get that out. I mean, when you're working with such easy material like the movie Skeleton Man itself, it's not too hard. But I think I'm going to post a video. I wanted to get that done this month. I think I might post a video saying it'll be done soon with like a little skeleton thing. I'm trying to get this light behind my head to disappear. There you go. I'm going to have to actually have posture. Oh my God. It's still there. Anyway. So, that Skeleton Man video, 1 or 2 more drum solo vids named after animals. Sorry, I'm a little gassy today. And obviously the clips of this, and there's anything else I got planned. I mean, obviously just the media review videos. I don't really have anything like, I mean, I still got the Born Into This Metal version I gotta do. And I'll be kind of like a music video, so I'll be able to get some of that creativity, put out a little bit. But what is it? 6:34. I think it's about time to get started. Thanks for checking out Fat, Dumb, and Angry. Anybody who comes across such cursed live streams. So, let's get down into, I was supposed to be having a debate today against a local attorney. Hasn't accepted anything on Zoom, though, and he hasn't said anything back on Twitter. So either the guy was just fucking with me, which is very likely, or I don't know, he's just late. So I don't know if this guy's ever going to show up for us to do an actual debate about, but I'm thinking I'll give him time. So I'm going to start just doing a little article, read a little article, just get through it, and have a little fun with something to see if this guy shows up so we can actually get into the topic. But until, let's get into that first then. Yeah, here we go. I'm doing trying to do some live editing. Yeah, that's good enough. There we go. Back to normal. So, today we're going to start with a... Let's keep that there. All right, so today I'm going to start with a article from Bounding Into Comics. I saw the headline for this and kind of made me laugh, so I'm just going to read it, see if there's anything funny to it. Samuel L. Jackson says election of President Donald Trump broke the Marvel's actress Brie Larson. I mean, I think this is even funnier, a little bit to talk about with like the history of my channel, and just in that Go Oko Broke video, talking about Brie Larson so much, how she is like the avatar of woke. For some reason, I just got put onto her, but actor Samuel L. Jackson, who reprises his role as Nick Fury in the upcoming Disney Plus series Secret Invasion, recently revealed that the election of Donald Trump broke the Marvel actress Brie Larson. You know, I don't know women very well, but I do know they don't like people telling people that they've been broke, you know, and not even in like a money way. Speaking with Rolling Stone's Marlo Stern, Jackson was asked, "You're going to be in the Marvels with Brie Larson, and you two are good pals. She's got so much hate for playing Captain Marvel from the more sexist side of Marvel's fan base. What was it like to see her go through that?" First, Jackson relayed how the two actors bonded. Brie's a strong person, a stronger person than people give her credit for. We had done Kong together, which Kong was a pretty funny movie. Sam Jackson versus Giant Monkey. Can't beat that. Which was not the most wonderful experience for either of us. I wonder why. We became great friends during that particular experience because we were having such a hard time. It's probably the monkey. You know, when you have, giant monkeys, it tends to make things like a little bit more difficult to have a good time. Those great apes, they lead to a lot of debates, let's just say. Then, when she was doing her movie, Unicorn Store, a movie I want to watch, probably make fun of, and trying to get a particular actor, I was in the makeup trailer with her and was like, "Why are you trying to hire this other actor and not trying to get me to do your movie?" She said, I didn't think you'd ever do it. So will you?" And I was like, "Let's do it." All right. I mean, it sounds like Samuel Jackson this is probably how he gets all of his roles. What are you hiring somebody for? Hire me. Jackson then detailed they continued to bond when the election of Donald Trump broke her. He relayed, "Then we bonded through the election when we were doing her movie. When Donald Trump won, she was broken. I was like, don't let him break you. You have to be strong now." Yeah, Brie Larson. Brie Larson is how we're going to defeat fascism, everybody. Her little tiny little legs. Then, when she got Captain Marvel, she called me and was like, "They want me in the Marvel Universe. Should I do it?" And I was like, "Hell yeah, let's do it. Let's do it." She was going to do it. Did he already know? Oh, because he assumes he's going to get a role, I'm sure. But she's not going to let any of the stuff destroy her, he continued. She's not going to literally become the character from Room or The Room. I forgot which one it was called. Jackson then derided Larson's critics. These incel dudes. This is good. These incel dudes. Just so we make sure nobody mistakes the incel women. We got to make sure, it's the dudes, the incel dudes who hate strong women. The incel dudes who don't hate strong, whatever. Or the fact that she's a feminist who has an opinion and expressed it. Everybody wants to be who they want them to be. She is who she is, and she's generally that. Everybody wants people to be who they want to be. I mean, so you want your incel dudes who hate strong women to be them, right? Or else, you're not just saying that to sound good. You actually mean that, right? Or you don't actually want the incel dudes to be who they are, which is just more regular hypocrisy. But Larson became infamous following her Crystal Award acceptance speech where she derided white male film critics. I talk about this in the Go Woke, Go Broke video. Her infamous quote, "I don't need a 40-year-old white dude to tell me what didn't work for him about A Wrinkle in Time. It wasn't made for him. I want to know what the film meant for women in color, to biracial women, to teen women of color, to teens that are biracial." Really focused on color, isn't this lady? And for the third time, "I don't hate white dudes," she said. Like, of course, everybody is willing to be like, "Oh, obviously you shouldn't hate white dudes." Like, but they would never offer that kind of lenience to somebody on the right saying, like Tim Allen, if he said a bunch of shit and was like, "By the way, I don't hate black people, they'd be like, "Oh, no. You can't just say, 'I don't hate,' and get rid of it, you know." But, whatever. "These are just facts. These are not my feelings," Larson went on to advocate for inclusion writers in film contracts. Oh, yeah, I know, more forced stuff. Leading up to and following the release of Captain Marvel, Larson pushed her brand of intersectional feminism while promoting the film She Told in Style. The movie was the biggest and best opportunity I could have asked for. It was like my superpower. This could be my form of activism, doing a film that can play all over the world and be in more places than I can be physically. See, this is right here. Yeah, you never have the evidence for things when you need them, but right here, it's like great evidence that, yes, these actors, and I'm sure producers and writers see these things as a form of activism. You know, it's not just so you can't pretend like it's crazy when you put that together with what they're actually doing, with what you see on the screen. I mean, she's not a right-wing activist, so when I see all this left-wing shit in the whatever, that activism included the promotion of inclusion writers, which mandates racial and gender quotas for actors and production staff. Since you could just make up whatever gender you want, I don't see that being very useful so far. Larson said, "Inclusion has to be a choice. It's not happening naturally." What the fuck does that mean? Larson said, the lady who wants to force diversity on people. No, sorry. Larson, the person who wants to force inclusion on people, said inclusion has to be a choice. It's not going to then immediately says after that, it's not going to happen naturally. You really have to fight for it. So it's not a choice. You're forcing it. You're just pretending. You're just saying gobbledygook word salad. During an appearance at Tina Brown's Women in the World conference in New York back in April 2019, Larson made it clear she would use any kind of privilege she had to push her radical politics. "If I have any sort of privilege, I will immediately want to spend it. Whatever that currency is, I'm spending it immediately. I'm not going to hold on to it and hope that I can put it into some account and it make more money. I want to spend it because we need the change now. And I'm really not afraid to falling on my face because I'm done. I've done it my whole life and I'm just kind of like, bring it." So, okay. Just an outright, like, great evidence, you know. I wonder how woke her movie was. I don't think that was on the list of movies because I bet it didn't make up, like, you know, that much at all. But Larson would throw her weight behind the Times Up organization. Oof. Hold on, I'm getting a text. $40K tomorrow. Anyway, Larson would throw her weight behind the Time's Up organization that she declared on Twitter. "Together, we can end harassment, discrimination, and abuse from the power imbalances we all face in the workplace." By the way, a great way of trying to make it like everyone's fight. We all face in the workplace. I mean, I don't know. Some of us got unions. You know, some of us got things that actually protect us that we don't really have to face in the workplace, these kind of things. "Together, we can end harassment, discrimination, and abuse." Impossible. How do you end people's personal, like, choices? I'll tell you. Through communism, baby. Through equity. The New York Times described the organization's main goals were to create a legal defense fund to help less privileged women like janitors, nurses, and workers at farms, factories, restaurants, and hotels protect themselves from sexual misconduct and fallout from reporting it. Pass legislation to penalize companies that tolerate persistent harassment and to discourage the use of non-disclosure agreements to silence victims. Reach gender, oh my God, parity in studios. That's not going to happen. Parity is like balance, I'm pretty sure. How are you going to make it 50-50? I mean, they'll happen by telling people to change their gender, but whatever. And talent agencies that has already begun making headway and request that women walking the red carpet at the Golden Globe speak out and raise awareness by wearing black. Well, let's just wrap this up. Bounty into Comics didn't really have much of an article here to really talk about. I mean, they have a lot of information about Brie Larson. Let me say John F. Trent, the true Chad over there. But it doesn't really get into how she was broken by the election of Donald Trump. I mean, I believe it because, you know, she was probably 100% sure Trump with Thanos and was going to snap his little fingies and do something to the world. But, Chunks, stop it. Oh my God, he's screaming. That was the first terrible article I wanted to read. I don't know, I saw that one on Twitter. I thought it'd be kind of funny just to kind of go over it, but I didn't really have that much to it. Oh well. So, I guess this guy's blowing me off, so I'm just going to go over the topic of my own. Here we go. Gotta organize what I want to show here, I guess. I don't really need to show a lot of that. Sorry if anyone was listening to that and heard the fucking mic explode in their ear. I'm sure that wasn't very pleasant. This is basically all 860 Black Lives Matter's fault for posting such stupid shit on Twitter. I mean, what am I supposed to do? Not respond? I don't know. Maybe. But that's kind of stupid too. I got a lot of shit I gotta say. I got so much shit I want to say. And all I know is I gots to say it. So hopefully you can kind of see the screen there. So, Black Lives Matter 860 posted something that they blocked me from seeing now. So I don't know what the fuck that was. But this is where the debate was going to be about. And so I reposted what they posted. I said, this is where we are at in the fight against racism. We truly are privileged to be at this point. Hashtag BLM, hashtag racism, hashtag Connecticut, hashtag race, hashtag equality. The thing they posted was about some bill of something or other about black people can't get to the beaches and Whitey has all the money and all the beaches and whatever. I mean, if I had the guy on, I was going to have him maybe tell me what they said so I could, you know, really get into it, but whatever. So, which then he responds with, what an outrageously ignorant comment. It's not a privilege to be discriminated against. Contrary to your, I mean, if the people with, like, gonorrhea are discriminated against you and won't have sex with you, it's a little bit of a privilege. But contrary to your ignorance of history, too, this has been a fight. People have been fighting for decades. All right. Oh, good. I already have that article pulled up. To which I responded, yeah, any retard can write an article. Doesn't make it true. Also, the article is about the 70s. Try living it today, my dude. Yes, a professor at the University of Virginia is any retard. try reading or therapy, which, I mean, you can find a lot of things written about vaccines by professors, and they're pretty retarded too, so I don't know what that really proves, but notifications. Then we get on to, I just asked him to come on my live stream. He gave me a little jack off, which means he probably wasn't going to do it, but it seemed like he was interested in it. And so that's where we got into the idea, the conversation of the whole beach thing. So I read this article that he sent. I guess I'll go over it and argue with the article, seeing as he's not going to come on. When a fight to free the beaches rippled beyond the coast, the most well-known scenes from the civil rights movement unfolded on buses and in churches, at schools and polling stations, on city streets and the National Mall. A new book by historian Andrew W. Cook explores a lesser-known front in the fight for equality, the beach. Like, it's just like the equality camping articles, just too cringy. In Free the Beaches, the story of Ned Cole and the battle for America's most exclusive shoreline, Cook tells the story of grassroots activists in northern cities who challenged segregationist policies and attitudes that kept kids and families of color from enjoying the public beaches along the Connecticut coast. I'm sure they're going to explain that soon, right? Yep. We sat down with Cook to learn more about the history of keeping America's coastlines open to all. Who was Ned Cole and what did he do? Cole was an activist who tried to draw attention to inequality. Sorry, not inequality. See, that's how they fuck with you every now and again. You got to make sure when they're using equality and equity, because those are two very, very different things. To draw attention to inequity in the urban Northeast, far from the center of the civil rights movement in the Jim Crow South. He challenged middle-class, mostly white people who professed to care about segregation and poverty to actually spend time in poor communities of color. Interesting. Why challenge the middle class? Like, they're the most, they got the least amount of time. They got the most shit to do. Why not challenge the upper class? Like, the people who can really enact more change? Unless you just wanted to be like an annoying prick. Oh, shit. I forgot you can't. There you go. You can actually see it a little bit there. All right. See, I gotta forget that. I keep forgetting I'm on editing duties. Though his work in cities like Bridgeport and Hartford, Connecticut in the 1970s, Cole got to know parents whose kids had no access to safe places to play outside close to home. Though summer camps and day trips, he worked to provide access to the Connecticut shoreline for low-income, mostly black and Latino youth. The residents of these shoreline communities, by and large, met the arrival of kids from the city with hostility and went to great lengths to keep them off their beaches that they considered their own. Yeah, so something that in the thing that's in the present argument or the conversation about the beaches is that the private beaches, and that's unfair, that for, I guess hopefully they're going to get into it because that's what I really want, to talk about, but whatever. Chucky, oh my God, whatever. I think it shows the various ways segregation is enforced in America. Along the Connecticut shore in the 60s and 70s, you didn't see white-only signs or explicitly racial policies of exclusion as you would have in the Jim Crow South, meaning you didn't see actual racism. But segregation was enacted through a variety of measures. When are they going to start talking about capitalism? Some very subtle and all ostensibly colorblind, the scary word colorblind, that nevertheless created a separate and unequal society. I mean, the poor people from the inner city and the people who own beachfront property were supposed to have inclusive and equal society. I mean, whatever. I don't know how that's going to happen when they can't buy beachfront property, but private beach associations proliferated on the eastern seaboard in the first half of the 20th century. First half of the 20th century. So we're in the 21st century. So this is still in the past. I'm waiting to get to like today things. These were essentially gated communities along the coast that restricted beach access to residents and their guests. In Connecticut alone, by mid-century, there were more than 100, which left fewer and fewer publicly owned beaches. On top of that, a number of coastal towns owned beaches and restricted access to residents only, even though it was often state and federal money that paid to protect these beaches and restore them after storms. So if you weren't fortunate enough to own a cottage by the shoreline or live in one of these wealthy communities, which had near uniformly white population, I mean, then, now, not so much, which had, that's an important word, had, the only way you could get access the coast was a small number of very overcrowded and often dirty public beaches. Yes, the ones I spent most of my life going to. Many cities, I don't need to read those things anymore. Many cities at this point had budget problems, and recreation resources were often first on the chopping block. Even, I mean, I would imagine cities, right? So the people who live like around the beaches are not in the same cities as the people who, like, you know, from the inner city here who are trying to come there. So, I mean, if they want to cut that, I mean, why wouldn't they if they're not the ones taking advantage of it? It makes sense to me. Chunks. Oh my God, I'm a psycho cat. Even when pools, parks, and playgrounds were built, oh my God, they built those things, but it was never enough. It's not a private beach, my lad. They were built predominantly in white neighborhoods, which, guess what, buddy? Most of the neighborhoods were white, so it's not a really big surprise that happened. So for African American kids living on, say, the north end of Hartford, like the worst place in Connecticut, there were very few opportunities to live, to cool off in a safe, supervised place. Nowadays, thank God we have Walmart. As a result, children were hurt or died. As a result of no beach, many children were slaughtered. In Hartford, parents in public housing projects staged protests and demanded that officials fence off a part of the Park River that 8 kids had drowned over the course of several years. See, this is kind of giving me the thought, like, do we need to give these people access to more water? I don't know. In Harlem, African-American children were, and this is Harlem, by the way, this has nothing to do with Connecticut, but they felt the need to add it into the article. In Harlem, African-American children were hit by cars while playing in the street. Like, this has, nothing to do with what they're talking about. Meanwhile, in neighboring affluent towns, again, if this is talking about Harlem, that means they're talking about New York, which has nothing to do with Connecticut. White children were playing with clean beaches. Oh my God, bad things happened to black people, and good things happened to white people. How can we change this? For Cole and his and the families he worked with, beach access was not some minor issue. It was critically important. I don't see how that's going to solve a lot of your issues. And it sure wasn't the only issue. And it did bring a larger set of problems into focus. How did officials respond to those protests? Some officials reacted to anger and unrest over the tragic events with piecemeal fixes. I almost didn't know what the hell what that word was for a second. Piecemeal fixes. The Johnson administration, this is how far back we're going there, everybody. The Johnson administration rushed through funding for a slew of shoddy wading pools in poor neighborhoods. For instance, no, it's never enough. No, it's never enough. For instance, or put sprinklers on fire hydrants. These responses showed how badly officials missed the point of protest around recreation. These were Band-Aids over the gaping wound of segregation. These were Band-Aids over the gaping wound of, I want a nice beach. Like, I'm sorry, also, you're in New England. There's like one nice beach. You're going to think you're going to get access to it? Nah. I mean, they already mentioned we do have public beaches, but they don't complain what, they're not nice, they're not clean. They'll go there and fucking clean it. Ned Cole appreciated that a that to build a democratic society, we must all have really, really nice beaches surrounded by white people property. No, we have to protect public space and ensure that we're guarding opportunities for me. Wait, okay, I'm going to read this actually. Ned Cole appreciated that to build a democratic society, we have to protect public space and ensure that we're guarding opportunities for meaningful engagement with each other across race and class lines. Oh, yeah, there's nothing really. I mean, that's nice, but yeah, there's okay. That's a good quote. Cole was very troubled by the fact I couldn't make a joke out of anything. Damn it! Was very troubled by the fact that before his eyes in middle-class Hartford, is there a middle-class Hartford? You mean like Wethersfield? White Americans were segregating themselves in enclaves and having fewer and fewer interactions with people of color. I mean, honestly, like they act like in-group bias is a specifically white person thing. Like, I'm sorry, but like we see this all over the place. Communities of people choose to be around each other because they feel more comfortable. Like Mexicans, Chinese, all of them do it. It's not just a white people thing. Oh, look at this. We're almost done with this garbage. And look at this. I didn't even get anything useful yet. This was especially troubling because in a segregated climate, prejudice can flourish and go unchallenged. Yeah, so maybe we shouldn't be doing like segregated graduation classes or, you know, segregating how you can be how your life can be by race. Cole saw public space as an essential counterweight to that, a natural way for people of different backgrounds to experience, to come together, and to figure out how to get along, get to know each other. We have things like that. They're called national parks. They're called public land, and they work perfectly fine for these things. Without those interactions in public spaces, our democracy and our society would be in a dangerous place. This article written before Donald Trump got elected, because I wonder if they would still say that. I don't think so. Okay. Digesting all of that stupid information. What do we get out of this? So, there was racism in the past. They probably had like laws that black people couldn't, redlining and shit. Black people, even if they had the money, which very few probably did, they probably couldn't buy land there in let's go back to, let's say the 50s. All right, or whatever, the 60s, I don't know. Before civil rights, But after that, I searched on Google as well, looking for Connecticut laws that dictate by race if you can buy property anywhere, and surprise, surprise, they really don't actually say you can't buy property near the coast because you're black. I don't have racial breakdowns in neighborhoods, I don't think, available, but I'm pretty sure there are black people living around there. That the entire argument about the access that black people have to beaches is kind of breaks down into just a economic argument, because the argument I was going to use is, well, what's an art like? How is it racist? Before it was racist. Now it's purely just because you don't have enough money, and because there's disparate outcomes. But disparate outcomes, like your outcome does not tell you why things are happening. You can't just take that data and extrapolate it and say that's exactly why, because that's not telling you everything. That's just a little bit, So just because there's inequity does not mean that there is something happening right now, because maybe it will all even out at the end, even though I don't think that's possible. And how could you, where is the thing being dictated specifically by race that's stopping a black person from owning beachfront property and me owning beachfront property, right? And the only thing stopping either of us from doing it is just having the amount of money. So, and if the argument was going to go to a place of capitalism is racist and all this kind of bullshit, I don't know. That was just gonna be nuts. Capitalism is racist. Capitalism is not racist. Capitalism is about exploiting as many people as humanly possible. So that's about ignoring all that shit. And one last thing I guess I want to bring up is by allowing more and more access, just giving people things blindly was maybe without thinking about the outcomes of it. It's not always, the smartest thing to do. For example, you say inner city people need access to the nice beaches or whatever. I mean, first off, I'm going to pretend like we're not caring about race, but okay, whatever, let's care about race. Okay, inner city black people, right? We need to give them access to nice beaches so, I don't know, they feel better. Is it going to be beneficial for them? And I was looking at drowning facts from the CDC before I sound too racist. But interestingly enough, I mean, there's a lot of information that's just pretty obvious, like kids are most likely to drown and all that shit. And during summer is the highest time of drowning. I was interested to learn that males, 80% of people who would drown are usually males. And drowning deaths rates for American Indians and Native American people ages from 29 and younger are 2 times higher than white people. Drowning deaths for black people are 1.5 times higher than white people. In swimming pools, black children ages 10 from 14. We're not talking about swimming pools, but wow, that's 7.6 times higher than white children? Jesus Christ. So, even just uniformly giving them this thing, you might be sending more of these poor black boys to their deaths, to Davy Jones. I mean, I feel good about it, though. At least I don't feel like a racist. Now go off and drown, little black boy. Like, I don't know. Just another little shitty argument I was thinking about. Oh, that was fun. And now I'm going to move on to the stupid BuzzFeed article my girlfriend sent me. I caught my boyfriend watching porn while we were having sex. Should I dump him? Dun, dun, dun. I freaked out each time. See, this is why I wanted to do this, because she read it to me. Everything that keeps getting added, it gets funnier and funnier. I freaked out each time. It was more than once. And was hysterical. Yeah, I'd be laughing too if it happened to me. Wait, did they give this guy's picture away? They doxed this motherfucker? That's awful. Oh, no, that's just the person giving advice. Okay. Invite people, whatever. So, this guy got this question. I have a question for you. I caught my boyfriend for a year secretly watching porn while we were having sex. 3 different times. That's a lot of sex they're having. I freaked out each time and was hysterical. Like, I like how adding that is like, I freaked out at my boyfriend enough. He should know he did something wrong. I screamed. Yet each time his excuse was that he thought it was kinky and didn't know how to ask. Should I forgive him? No, you shouldn't forgive this guy. You should dump him ASAP. Really? Why? Please go into it. Let's just call this what it is. Your boyfriend is involving you in an apparent kink of his without your consent. That makes his behavior, well, non-consensual. Rape card, baby. I got you on that one. Even worse, your boyfriend clearly knows that he's crossed a line here. You've caught him doing this multiple times before, and as you describe it, you freaked out each time and were hysterical. Like, you need a quote around that? Like, you can just say you freaked out, and like most men would be like, all right, we don't need a quote of her saying that. We know. We get it. You can definitely trust a woman when they say they freaked out. Your discomfort with the behavior has been unmistakable. He wasn't there. He doesn't know. Maybe she was a tease. And what has your boyfriend done since you told him to stop? He's ignored you. He's decided that your objections don't matter. And he's continued on with this behavior, hoping he wouldn't get caught again. At this point, I think it's very important to go back up to the guy giving the advice. Oh. He desperately wants her to fuck him. This makes more sense now. He's a simp. And so he's going to tell women to break up with people, so he's going to, slide. This is more than just selfish or rude. It's a serious violation of your trust or your body or of your ability to make decisions for yourself. You set up clear boundaries with your boyfriend about a thing that makes you uncomfortable. And he's rejected those boundaries over and over. There's no excuse for that behavior. Oprah saying, I will not accept that meme. I love the fucking they add these stupid gifs and memes. Like, I don't know. You really... I'm sorry, girlfriend, that you read BuzzFeed, but this is like the lowest common denominator. Sorry. But, and just to be 100% clear, I'm not here to shame anyone with a kink. Watching porn during sex can be a perfectly normal and healthy activity when both partners are down for it. But I'm here to shame people who would force their partner to participate in any kind of kink. Like, I mean, what he did was mostly, like, basically, entirely in his own head. So I don't really see how he forced her to participate in any type of sex. Like, it was the same sex. Maybe he was looking at something else, but like they were having the same sex. So what was he... Like, what was the difference between that rape and the regular sex they had, other than what he was looking at? Kinky, vanilla, or anywhere in between, against their wishes. Like, okay, men, this is why we need to fight the Neuralink at all costs. The women will be in our brains, and they will be looking at what we're looking at in our brains during sex. You must think of me! Me! All the time during sex! Don't get the Neuralink, boys. Oh my god, my mic is like way too loud. Okay, anyway. At the end of the day, it doesn't matter what you want to do in bed or why you want to do it. Sex in all forms require the clear and... It's just consent. Whatever, it doesn't matter what that word is. Whatever, I've been drinking. So, yeah, please break up with this guy. And if you don't want to do that, at least send me a message and we could talk on the side, and I could slowly work you down and tell you need to leave him. And then one day when you leave him, I'm going to hit you up, baby. We're going to do it. And then once we do it, I ain't never talking to you again. I work for BuzzFeed. But honestly, if I were you, I'd just dump him. He probably does want to be a woman, honestly. You deserve a partner who inherently understands the importance of the boundaries and consent. Perhaps those things can be taught to people, but they shouldn't have to be. Wow. Just give up. I mean, he's done it 3 times. It doesn't seem like he's shown that he's unable to learn. It just seems like he just wants to try to keep getting away with it. But so go find a guy with a base level of understanding, of empathy and respect. You'll be much better off in the long run. I promise. TLDR, dump him. Show him the door. That's the... Okay, so now the next part is the comments. My girlfriend said those were pretty funny too. So let's look at the comments. Let's go most hearts. Steven, you're absurdly good at this. Definitely written by a woman. Queen Matilda, yeah. You ripped that man apart. How dare you think of something else? I don't know how you do it, but you nail it every damn time. Wow. I completely agree with dumping him. He is being unconsensual and not respecting you. I love porn and I'm a sex worker. That does not surprise me. But you need to set up boundaries, and he broke it repeatedly. This is coming from a lady whose boundary is give me money and I will do it. She declared her discomfort and he did it again. Off with his head. No. So clearly that he just kept doing it again and again. And okay, when we get to the one where they asked the real question here, I was ready to go like, hold on, watching porn during sex is not that bad. But then I read the whole thing and you are totally right. A couple should agree to this thing before doing it. Totally dump his ass. She's 3 strikes and the boyfriend is out. Alright. Can somebody explain to me how you physically watch porn while having sex without being seen? Like, I don't get it. Yes. So there we go. Somebody finally asks the real question. Glory. Somebody answers glory hole. JK, so sorry. On his phone, preferably while her mouth is full, or maybe there's a blindfold in play. There are other ways for sure, but this guy is definitely seen just 3 times, though. Okay, so first off, if he's looking at his phone, first off, what kind of girl is down there sucking this guy's dick and he's just looking at his phone willy-nilly? Like, you got any self-worth, bitch? That should be what you're talking about. You should be right into this dude. I'm blowing my boyfriend and he's just sitting on his phone playing Castle Crush or whatever. That's the bigger issue. Or, your lack of control that you're blowing him. If it's the blowjob. Because I'm honestly thinking the blowjob scenario probably makes the most sense. You having sex. Having sex from above. Like, if you put the phone on, like, the headboard or something, right? And then you're having sex and you're just looking up. See, this is what I always thought one of my ex-girlfriends did with these cute band boy posters, is she taped them on the walls, and I'm like, what are you really looking at? I don't know. Especially on the ceiling, too. So I was like, there's really no direction she could be looking where she didn't see that. And other than that, okay, so you put it up there, but it's going to fall off the headboard, all right? I mean, you can't just sit there holding it. You have it sitting in the room somewhere? None of this shit is adding up. So I think what we figured out, everybody, if we're going to get down to it, this guy just had some random person send me an interesting question. He decided to write an article about it, even though it was all fake. We did it. All right. Wonderful. We made it. BuzzFeed. Oh, that was me. My bad. There you go. Do 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 do. I mean, what else do I really have to talk about? I think it's just time to bust out some of these jokes. Now, I did not have a lot of time. Like, I wrote jokes earlier in the week, and then I just kind of, like, fucking slacked off. So, I only got one page. And, we got some real bombos in there, I'm pretty sure, but, fuck it. Never stop grinding, everybody. Just keep going at it. One day you'll get worse. One day you'll get so bad It's not so much about getting better. It's about getting so bad, you realize how good you really were in the beginning. We are doing some jokes here. Hey, little Bobby boy. Have you heard the joke about the chicken? How did the chicken cross the road? He used the crosswalk. No. All right. Let's start with some jokes here. I got some stories and some old jokes I just worked in here, so we'll see if any of them land. Imagine being Bill Clinton. Great way to start a joke. Imagine being Bill Clinton. You must have thought you were going to be the coolest president of all time. Not only, were you like the cool saxophone playing president and stuff like that was like all hip and jive, you even went so far as to get a blowjob in the Oval Office. A blowjob from a Jewish woman. That's like one of the hardest things in the world. One of the hardest things in the world, all right? You got that boss ass shit. And then imagine being him, going through all that. Like, you got impeached for that shit. Probably was worth it. A couple years later, who do you got? You got Barack Obama. Just shooting basketballs, and stuff like that. Smoking cigarettes, looking like a badass at the White House. Poor Bill Clinton. He thought he was going to be so cool for the entire world. He's just sitting there looking at Hillary going, God damn it, Hillary. If I just got that threesome in the office. Because if he got a threesome. If he got that threesome, that really would have kept him. Alright, that was a bad joke. But They say wokeness is killing comedy. I disagree. So I can't say retard anymore. No big deal. You just change the wording of the joke. It's not retard strength, it's mentally handicapped strength. And boom, you're back in there making jokes about how retard girls give the best hand jobs. See? They can censor our words, but not our important thoughts. That being said, I've always wondered if retard girls give good head or not. Most of them got a good bob going on, but look like they got no problem in the drool department. But can you really trust them not to bite? That's a big risk with their mentally handicapped strength and all. But I guess these are the risks you take when you fly so close to the sun. On wings of cum. It is a little known fact that Icarus fucked retards. People say, don't fly too close to the sun. Unless you're a gnat. Which say, fly right into that dude's fucking eyeball. That's probably my favorite one I wrote, I think, this week. Or this month. Bugs are weird. Like, what's the deal with exoskeletons? What is your skin on the inside? You got pimples in there? Is that why bugs are so juicy when they get squished? Just a bunch of poppy pimples. When I have a kid, I really hope they don't end up with an Oedipus complex. Though, that would be preferable to an Oediscat complex. Do they have to put the animals, do they have to put down the animals, they say, from bestiality cases? Is it like a man-killer thing when now they've tasted human cock and they can't go back? Or can you reintroduce them to platonic society? These are the important questions, especially in Canada, where they're fucking their animals. I mean, the United States, too. Apparently everyone's doing it, but... Personally, I don't get the appeal of the beach. Like, sure, let's go to the mini desert in the blazing sun with the undrinkable water. Sounds like a good time. Speaking of people who were stuck in a desert for 40 years, if the Holocaust never happened, it would be a lot easier to make fun of Jewish people. Don't really have a punchline for that one yet, but I'm working towards it. That being said, what's a Jew's favorite day of the week? Saturday, I assume, because they're people just like you and me. I mean, they probably like payday too, but that's besides the point. Want to see if your partner might be into scat play? Offer them a warm Baby Ruth bar and gauge their reaction while eating it. Enjoying it just a little too much? I don't know why. What am I doing with the scat jokes? This is nasty. It's nasty, Nick. What are you doing? I've heard people say, workers of the world, unite! Which is cool and all. But I don't know what a... I'm going to try that one again. I've heard people say, workers of the world, unite! Which is cool and all. But I don't know what all the workers morphing into a giant worker mech thing would really accomplish. I had one of the worst first days at work ever. One of the first day of work that I had at this place called Office Depot was probably the worst first day maybe anybody could have. So went to work. It was the first day. I went to work normally, and I wasn't quite prepared for, I haven't had a job in a little bit, like a year or something at that time. Maybe it wasn't a year, but whatever. So let's just say my work clothes weren't quite up to my condition at that point. So this job was stocking in the morning at Office Depot, and I get there, 6 in the morning or something like that, pretty early. And they send me to the back to train with this old Asian guy named Lee. And all right. I'm excited. About to put some work in. So he tells me, like, oh, okay, so first thing we're going to do, like, go over there and grab, we're going to pick these boxes up. We're going to put them over there or something like that. So I go over and pick up to go get the first box. And when I bend down to grab it, using the proper back procedure, my pants proceed to explode off of me. And, it's not like a rip, like your ass rips. It was like the seam from the crotch down to the legs just exploded out. So my pants were like just shredded on my legs. The Asian guy could barely like contain his laughter. I was really embarrassed. I said like I had to go home and change, and it was really early in the morning, so customers were there yet. So I run up front, and the cashier like sees me waddling out, holding together my pants, and the manager. And so I drive home and I put on another thicker, stronger, bigger pair of pants. And I return, and they sent me back to the receiving place again. And the Asian guy, he's like, "Oh, what are you doing here?" And I'm like, I came back, to work. And he's like, "We didn't think we were ever seeing you again." And I believe that because, I just showed everybody my undies on the first day of work. I worked there for a while after that. It just goes to show, never have shame. This is why men need their own version of leggings. This story I just told you. The only thing holding us back is the BQ boner question. Maybe it won't be till we invent portal tech and put a little portal in there in front. And this will be the genesis of the boner dimension. I bet the boner dimension would be rather hard to navigate with very rigid rules. And the milk just doesn't taste right. There's something off about it. And last joke. Let's go on a bombo. How do lesbians fight? Like without a man there, who gets blamed? All right. Thanks for checking out Fat, Dumb, and Angry. Those are some jokes. Well, I had fun tonight going over some of this bullshit. Thinking about the beaches, thinking about my life. I'm working on putting some more stuff out. Clips of this will be out soon. Like I said, a drum video. If I can do a chance to do lyrics tomorrow on like a Born Into This song. I'm hoping maybe I get the energy for it tomorrow. Doing that, and Chunks. My cat's going to attack me any second now. And Chunky, stop it. Oh my god. And the Skeleton Man video. Hopefully I'll get another couple hours of editing on it tomorrow. But